Hey, what happened?
A news-pocalypse, that's what. Facebook pulling the plug on all your journalistic faves. Even the plucky little show that could. Us. But Zuck banned the baby and the bathwater. Charities, community groups and government agencies caught up in its dragnet.
The fact that there are organisations like state health departments, fire and emergency services and so on who've had their Facebook pages blocked, that's a public safety issue.
Facebook was sorry, not sorry, saying
government pages should not be impacted by today's announcement.
But
as the law does not provide clear guidance on the definition of news content, they have taken a broad definition in order to respect the law as drafted.
Facebook was wrong. They were heavy-handed and they will damage its reputation here in Australia.
So how did we get here? Google and Facebook make about 80% of all online ad revenue, much of it off the back of journalism produced by Aussie news outlets. So the government drafted legislation that'll force them to share the loot via a collective bargaining agreement.
What we have sought to do is to create a level playing field to ensure a fair go for Australian news media businesses, and that when they generate original content, that they are fairly paid for it.
Naturally, Google cracked it.
If this version of the code were to become law, it would give us no real choice but to stop making Google search available in Australia.
But they've since moved through the stages of grief from denial and anger to bargaining.
We welcome the reports of agreements reached between Google and 3 Australian news media businesses.
While judging by today's table flip,
Oh my God.
Facebook's still stuck at the anger stage, leaving its 9 million daily users in a news-free limbo. For a guy being held to ransom by a rogue tech giant, the treasure is sounding pretty chipper.
We will legislate this code. This is critical to sustaining public interest journalism in this country, and this is world leading.
So is the federal government crazy brave or just plain crazy? I must keep an eye on MySpace to find out.
Oh, all right, yeah, but big question for the panel. Does anyone know where I can buy a newspaper?
What is that? Actually, I'm not even on Facebook.
No, me neither.
No, nor am I.
We're the only 4 people in the country.
Holy moly, where do we get our news from?
I know, if only there was a television show that delivered it differently.
Yes.
I wonder, though, who has more at stake here? So who can walk away from this position? Can the government say, all right, we'll amend the law?
Okay, yeah.
Or does Facebook have a lot to lose if they stay this way?
You know what it reminds me a bit of? It reminds me a bit of Brexit.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just trying to work out who's the UK and who's Europe here. Like, someone is going to fill out a lot of forms and make their life very difficult and lose their fishing rights. Is it going to be Australia or is it going to be the UK?
I reckon Facebook have got more to lose.
Really?
Absolutely, because I think we're a bit of a guinea pig, and based on how we react, they've got a lot to lose, obviously, globally, if other countries look at our model and think, actually, hang on, there's something in that for us.
But isn't that exactly why they won't move? Because if they were to cave, if they were to say, all right, we'll put the new stuff back on and, you know, we'll accept the law or we'll negotiate some other thing, every other country would say, oh, great, we'll do the same thing now. And then they're completely screwed, aren't
And
they?
also, you know how sometimes these things are like a circuit breaker or they've opened the seal? This may be a conduit into further discussions, like about tech companies paying tax in a certain country.
Yeah,
this
right.
could play out very poorly for them.
So you think they've got to hold their line?
I say...
What's the
Do
question?
you think they've got to hold their line on this?
The government?
No, Facebook.
Oh, I think Facebook have got to hold their line on this, and I think how do you think? I don't think the government can really come out bad from this because they look like they're protecting journalism. They look like they're protecting particularly investigative journalism. So I think for the government, it's a bit of a win-win.
Yeah, okay. From expert opinions to in-depth analysis and reporting, the Project YouTube brings you the biggest stories from Australia and around the globe. Hit the subscribe button now for news delivered straight to your feed.